filed. The first of what presumably will be many was filed less than 24 hours after the deadly collapse. Brad Sohn represents the tower resident behind a $5 million class action suit and joins us now. Brad, you were quoted as saying you had learned some additional information that is stunning. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Well, at this point, Joe, and thank you for having me on, I'm not 100% sure what that quote, the time frame on that quote, but we just continue to be overwhelmed with what appears to be a really breathtakingly frightening realization, which is there was a lot that people knew long before Thursday morning at 1:30 a.m.
Like what? Give us some of these examples.
To seek answers. Well, look at the letter that was sent that from April of this past year from the association. I mean, actually making it clear that there were very significant problems. Obviously the Morabito report, which is the engineering report as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think, in the hands of a lot of different people who could have made a difference. And part of the reason why I think it's important that we were able to get in suit right away, we've actually already issued subpoenas and written discovery to the association, but then subpoenas also to Morabito, the engineering firm, a number of other entities as well, and we can really begin fighting for our clients and getting answers as to exactly what people knew and when.
Right. I was going to ask, because I'm sure people watching are wondering how you can file a lawsuit like this 22 hours after the building collapsed when no one really knows what happened.
Well, I think that's a really fair question, and I'm glad you asked it. Filing a lawsuit requires a good faith basis to allege what you alleged. And we had a lot of really talented lawyers and investigative people who were receiving information and vetting it as that day went on. It does not require, when you file a lawsuit, that you actually be able to fully prove the case. And in fact, you really never know what you're going to learn in discovery until you learn it. But what happened, and I was quite stunned actually, I had been told by a close friend of mine that the collapse had occurred and was just sort of processing it as I was taking my children to camp. And within a few minutes of that, a lawyer I work with regularly called me and told me that we had a client who, rather breathtakingly, was suddenly homeless and needed help right away. So that's what we did.
It's a class action lawsuit, Brad, and it's asking for, as I understand it, $5 million. And that's another thing I wondered about, because that doesn't seem, relatively speaking, like a lot of money. Can that number move one way or the other once this gets going, and how would it be distributed?
Joe, you're asking all the right questions, and I'm really glad, because in lawsuits, there's a one paragraph, what's called jurisdictional minimum, that's alleged. And so that's all that means. There's absolutely no way we would dream of simply limiting what we're trying to obtain for these victims at $5 million or anything along those lines. We are going to be seeking to get every last dollar we possibly can. What I will tell you, though, and I think it's important, I'm very clear to the clients about this, we are really not optimistic about the clients being able to be made whole with respect to what their losses are. I mean, that's something you sit down with clients every time you meet them in injury and death cases, certainly, and make clear that, look, we're here to provide, economic assistance to you that you're going to need, but obviously we can never make you whole. But particularly in the cases of property owners in this case, there's going to be a seismic gap between what's available in resources ultimately, between assets and all available insurance and everything else. And that's, of course, after an extensive period of time, versus what these units actually, were worth. Right. And sorry to keep sort of continuing talking, but the home prices of this building, I think if you don't live in Miami Beach, you have a certain impression of what a Miami Beach condo is and who lives there. These are homes of people who really need them, and they represent a significant chunk, I would surmise, for the most part, of each individual resident's financial health and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Attorney Brad Sohn, thank you for the update. We will continue to follow the litigation and see where it leads along with the investigation. Brad, thanks again.
Thanks, Joe.